Let's see if it's working this time. Hello. Okay, I think we're on. My gosh, it was a kind of testy. So, wanted to talk about $44,000 launch. This is a huge win for one of my clients who is has created the most amazing priestess training. And what I love is for us to all embrace that this is possible. A lot of us, including me, on the spiritual path, whether we're spiritual entrepreneurs, coaches, teachers, healers, therapists, whatever it is, coaches, mentors, readers, healers, we are so often stuck in this ethos of, well, if I'm a spiritual person, I'm not supposed to make money. So there is a very, I know with me, I had a really hard time allowing myself to make money for many, many years. And so I'm really celebrating this launch for my amazing, amazing priestess goddess lady with her $44,000 launch. So we're going to map this out and definitely come to my mermaid monetizing map. It's a workshop, $47. It starts in 9 days. It's on June 19th. So I'm going to go deeply into the different strategies and the skills. But this was done because when I really tuned into my client's energy and I was really feeling the people around her that wanted to come into this course, I just knew pre-launch we need to not wait a month or two because she just started actually delivering the training this month, probably this week or something. So what we did was let's do a pre-launch in we started planning it in March. So at some point, I think in March, she sent an email to only her people that have taken her other trainings, and she immediately got, calls booked based on that list. So we went to those people first to get her in the momentum, right, of having people sign up, right? And, there's so many ways to use this momentum energy building strategy when you are launching your own stuff that will help you actually call in more people, call in the money, and feel really excited. So, you know, there's so much here to talk about, but, when we map out how we are monetizing our gifts and how we are going to package gifts and what the offers look like, we need to map things out from the beginning of the journey to the actual end of the journey. And so I love that for my workshop coming up, we're working with the mermaid archetypes that literally they downloaded this to me in April sometime. And I've been working with these codes around visibility, around so the first part of the map that I want to talk about is the visibility virgin. And when I say the word virgin, I'm not talking about sexless, I'm talking about um, the energy of regeneration, of being one within yourself, right? Um, and yes, I'm also talking about the virgin, visibility. Visibility is a huge piece. So again, when we don't allow ourselves to receive money for our services or our gifts, or not enough money, or yeah, undercharging is another thing. It's like, well, I'm monetizing things and I'm but there's still this feast and famine pattern going on. A lot of it has to do with these fears and shame and guilt around being visible. So we're talking about the also space holding and how to do space holding in a way that's not about um, taking on everybody else's energy, right? There's a really beautiful analogy of the queen archetype, right? The queen is the regulator of all of the other aspects of a woman's psyche, right? And when we have this queen in the center, we don't we hold space, we invite people in, we create safe containers, but we are not bleeding energy, right? We're not being codependent. There's so much codependency in how people hold space, right? There's this codependency of, oh, what if they don't get the results that I want them to get? That's codependency on your part, right? So when we come to that place, and I'm not, I'm not shaking fingers, I'm pointing the finger back at myself. I've definitely had codependency patterns around that sort of thing. So it's super, uber important to have that awareness of how am I holding space? Am I really being sovereign and seeing all the other queens and kings in my realm as sovereign? Or do I feel like I have to save them, that what I have to give is going to, transform them? Yes, but they still have to do the work, right? We cannot do the work for them. We just have to provide the transformational energy, and that's what you have to give to your clients, is that transformational energy, that the codes that you hold when people come to you, that's what they need so they can model after you and model after your energy. It's not about you giving and giving and giving and um, allowing that codependent sort of nature to happen. So there's the embodiment empress. So when we embody the frequency of a $44,000 launch, so maybe, for you, it could be maybe you had $1,000 launch, maybe you had a $250 launch, whatever it is, embodying it, celebrating that, whatever the highest number that you have at the moment. And then you begin to kind of ratchet up, right? Getting more safe around holding a certain frequency of money amount, right? And there's the essence enchantress. So this is part of what I was talking about at the beginning of this, where I really, like I said, I tuned into my client. I was tuning into her, the people that were coming into her program, and that's when I was like, pre-launch. We need to like launch it now before you even have this training done. This is the time, and these are the, this is how we want to strategize this. So being the essence holder, or it's like, can you sniff out the precise strategy that obviously comes from having an intention of what you want the result to be for you, for the people around you? Again, is not being attached to the result that they get, because they have free will. They could do whatever they want. They could totally like pay for the course and never do any of the work, right? Or the coaching and never do any of the homework or the assignments or the healing or the nutrition, and then they go out and drink Coke every day because they have an addiction to sugar, right? So we don't have control over that. So we have to like release and just give of that essence from the place of, here I am, I'm holding it. This is for you. Tap into this, tap into this frequency. So also looking at the high touch, right? High touch is an important map. This is going to be day 5 of my workshop. That the high touch philosophy is, people want an experience. They want to feel things. They don't want just a fire hose of information being blasted at them, because it's useless, right? Day 6, the final day, is the map for the visionary. And that is okay. So I've gone through all these different aspects of my personal brand, of my how I want to roll out my business. You've got this map. So the last day is really, how do I create this container to protect this vision, to protect this map that I've created, and keeping it in that higher realm and coming back to it again and again, so that way I remember, oh yeah, I'm the chief visionary officer of my business and I know best, right? I have that vision and I'm the best person to protect it, to nurture it. So I hope you guys can join me and yeah, excited to really kind of unveil more and more. I have a beautiful mini course that I am creating right now, and it's all about really being a your own personal brand boss. And yes, someone asked, well, does this mean I could, me showing other people how to be? And like, yeah, of course, this is all, information that will be public and is, shared. So I am excited. A lot of good things coming up, and I wanted to do a card pull for the weekend. And I'm going to use the Mayan Oracle, one of my favorites, as you know. Give this a quick. And the Mayan Oracle gets really deep, and it's always so amazingly accurate. So I wanted to pull something for you. So if you are here watching, let me know. Okay, so what do we need to know as a collective about this weekend? What is the energy of this weekend? Ooh, nice. Dissonance. I think this is number 11, which is one of my favorite numbers. Yeah, it is. So in Mayan not numerology, but numbers, these straight lines represent the number 5. So 2 5s, that's 10, and then the unification, the monad, the 1 unit. So 5 plus 5 plus 1 is 11. And 11 is numerologically a number of manifestation. And to the Okay, so I'm going to read to you from this book. Really, it's like I said, it gets really deep. So it says that the 11 represents being stripped down to the essence, the marrow of light. Beyond definition, your soul takes flight. The qualities are change, disintegration, letting go, stripping away, complexity moving to simplicity. 11 is the ray of dissonance, the foundation in self combined with the foundation of essence self, catalyzed by the point of unity. 11 is the process of disintegration, stripping away the layers down to your core essence. Unity, the great illuminator, is transforming patterns and structures, freeing you from the things that no longer serve your emerging wholeness. Look through the surface appearance of your process. Let complexity dissipate, becoming the blessing of simplicity. In drawing 11, cherished ideals, beliefs, and images of all kinds are being brought up for you to re-examine, illuminate, and transform. Examine what appears dissonant in your life and let go. Embrace the disintegration process without resisting or judging it. The rigid walls of your resistance are being broken down. Going through your resistances and boundaries prepares a space for greater wisdom. You are becoming an open system. Anything that defines you is being stripped away. Expect clearing and change. Very fascinating. As your facade crumbles and your walls come tumbling down, the true illumination of self bursts through. So all of these things that we hang on to, that are our comfort zone, that make us feel whatever it is that we're attached to, we are going to be given an opportunity this weekend to release, to let go of these things so that we can really start fresh. And start fresh from that place of our core essence, the core essence self, the higher self, There's a lot of different names for that, right? So when we're not coming from that place in the, I would say in the most pure way, which I know it happens to me all the time. I have to come back to, okay, is this from my pure essence self, or is this the ego or my, well, the ego is fears, right? The ego is always trying to protect, right? The ego doesn't like change. And this card is telling us change is here. And yeah, we can say that we have a choice to make a change. Um, and I would say that what I'm feeling the energy from this particular card is that it's not always up to us. Sometimes things happen to knock us off balance, to, that could be something ending. So that way we can reflect and come back to center and go, okay, yeah, I want to make a different decision. And that's where the change comes from. So the change is coming from the essence, not from, outer circumstances, etc. Okay? Well, I don't see any comments. It could be that there are some here, but I'm just not seeing them. I'm wishing you a beautiful weekend, everybody. And yeah, check out my mermaid monetizing map. And there's links all over my Facebook profile. And you can go to my website at chrisseraphine.com and you'll see it in a couple of places as well there. And it starts June 19th. So we got 10 more days. I'd love to see you there. Okay, bye, beautiful.